6, a helping hand with your land.
Neil from Essex here. We're out today with a Kubota hay tedder. Joining me is Anthony Rhodes, my local Kubota hay tools product specialist. We're gonna do a quick walk around this piece here, show you some of the features and functions of it, talk a little bit about hay tedders, what they do, and why you should use one. So if you watch a lot of our YouTube videos, you know we do videos on construction equipment and compact tractors and zero-turn mowers and all kinds of stuff. But if you've not been initiated to hay tools before, you might think that a rake and a tedder look very similar, but they actually have very different functions. Anthony, what is the difference between a rake and a tedder?
Okay, so when tedders first came out years ago, the farmer would buy the tedder, he'd park it in his barn. If the hay got rained on, you'd get it out, you'd fluff the hay up, you basically throw the hay out behind you, the dry hay that's on top lands on the bottom, the wet hay that's on the bottom carries a little further, lands on top. So, you know, it was that purpose. It was strictly to turn the hay if it got wet. And what farmers have found recently is it's become more and more a part of the haying process. So a lot of times you'll mow the hay down, let it dry a little bit, go ahead and ted it, and speed up the drying process, put up a higher quality crop, and get it in before the rain comes on it.
So while a rake rakes hay together, a tedder simply spreads hay out.
Correct. Okay, so at Kubota, we've got a full line of tedders. This is a 17-foot 1-inch working width, all the way up to 36 foot. So we've got 4 rotor tedders, a couple of 6 rotor tedders, a couple of 8 rotor tedders. Like I said, 17 foot, 25 foot and change, and up to 36 foot. Okay, so one of the things you'll notice a little different than from some of our competitors, we use a flat tine arm here. It gives us more contact here to the rotor itself, so that way you're not gonna get as much flex, which will give you a longer life here. The other thing we have are our actual tines. We use the same length. Number one, they're interchangeable right to left across the length of the tedder. The other thing is the inner tine is gonna reach a little lower on the ground. The outer ones will be a little higher, so you're gonna pick up 2 different levels of hay to help get that hay back there. We also use a little bit larger actual steel in this tine, and our coil is a little larger. All that equates to a little bit longer life on our tines.
We were running this 4-spinner today behind an M7060, a 70-horse tractor. This is a little overkill for this piece though, right? I mean, how big of a tractor do you need to run something this size?
You know, I mean, in all reality, I'm a small 40, 50 horse tractor. As long as it's set up correctly, that'll easily do the job from a horsepower perspective. Yeah. A little larger tractor is gonna go across the field a little more comfortably, but 40 or 50 horsepower tractor will easily get the job.
So the horsepower demands of these things are really, really minimal, but we should be looking for something with just a simply good sized tractor that you can comfortably travel across a field. Even though a BX could probably spin it, that would be pretty miserable.
Yeah. So you notice we do use universal joints here in our wings. This gives us a direct transfer of power from the inner gearbox on out. So you don't have the play that you would have in a finger style drive that a lot of the competitors use. Talked to a customer this morning that has one of these tedders, and he said he absolutely loves that. He thinks that's a really, really good design. We do use a double bush bearing here at the joints, which is a nice feature. The other thing you'll notice, our gearboxes are bolted on the underside of the frame. So if for some reason we've got to service this gearbox or something goes out, pull a couple bolts and drop that out. And another thing I'd like to say is you've got premium style tedders and you've got entry-level tedders. I mean, you got a wide range of tedders. You know, you spend a little bit more money and you get a nice tedder like this with some of our competitors. You know, it's going to last you a lot longer. It's going to be a general part of your haying process. It'll pay you back in the long run. Another thing you notice here, this spring here, this is what we use. This tedder does hydraulically tilt. You fold it down and it tilts forward. So we use this spring here instead of an accumulator to maintain that. So a lot less expense. For some reason you've got to replace that, you've got a spring versus an accumulator. So that's one advantage over some of our competitors out there.
So you can run the whole thing with one hydraulic remote, right?
Correct. You've actually got one hose. So it folds down, you actually pull this cord, which releases here, allows it to fold down, and then it tilts forward. If you come up to a ditch, you hit your hydraulics a little bit, it levels back out, go across it, tilt it back forward.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot. So when I do walk-arounds, I like to not walk around and act like a piece of equipment is completely perfect. And while we were picking around this thing out here today, we found something that seems like maybe it could have been done a little bit differently. That was this rope back here, right? You want to come tell me about the rope?
What about it?
The rope's a little short, isn't it?
Yeah, rope's a little short. We could maybe add a little bit more rope to it.
Add a little bit more rope.
That's a pretty simple fix. But yeah, the one we got here today, the rope's definitely a little short, no question about it.
So if you're looking at a Kubota hay rake, particularly this one right here.
Rake
header. An extra 6 feet or so of nylon rope here would probably do you some good. And note back to the guys that are putting this thing together, just give a little extra measure here when you're cutting the rope. So that's the Kubota hay tedder. If you have any need for hay tools, we can help you with any parts or service for your equipment. Give us a call at Messick's. We're available at 800-222-3373 or online at messick's.com.